Have you ever tried to read the book of Revelation? If you have, you probably felt like you were dropped into a wild, confusing, and maybe even terrifying movie. The book of Revelation is one of the most talked about books in the Bible, and also one of the most misunderstood. For some, it feels frightening. For others, confusing, full of strange images, symbols, and dramatic visions. But what if I told you that underneath all that symbolic and dramatic language, there's a powerful message of hope and victory that's meant to encourage you, not scare you? Today, we're going to demystify the book of Revelation. We'll strip away the confusion and get to the heart of what it's really about. Who wrote Revelation and why? The book itself tells us it was written by John, who was exiled on the island of Patmos. This was likely the Apostle John, the same one who wrote the Gospel of John. He was writing to 7 real churches in a region we now call Turkey. And here's the crucial part. These churches were facing intense persecution from the Roman Empire. Christians were being pressured to worship the emperor as a god. And if they refused, they could face imprisonment, loss of property, or even death. They were scared, they were suffering, and they were wondering, has God forgotten us? Is evil winning? So John isn't writing a futuristic horror story for our entertainment. He's writing a letter of pastoral care, an encouragement to suffering Christians. He uses a style of writing called apocalyptic literature, which was common back then. It's full of symbols, visions, and dramatic imagery. Think of it like a political cartoon. When you see a cartoon of a donkey and an elephant, you know it's about American politics. The original readers of Revelation would have understood these symbols in a similar way. The beast, for example, would have been an obvious symbol for the corrupt and oppressive Roman Empire and its emperor who demanded worship. So, when we read about these scary beasts and a dragon, it's not just a monster movie. It's a symbolic depiction of the very real political and spiritual evil these early Christians were facing every single day. John is pulling back the curtain to show them that behind the might of Rome, there's a spiritual battle being waged. But, and this is the key, he's also showing them who ultimately wins. The book opens with a stunning vision of Jesus. But it's not the gentle Jesus in a robe we often picture. This is a powerful, glorified, resurrected Jesus. His hair is white as snow, his eyes are like flames of fire, and his voice is like the roar of rushing waters. He holds 7 stars in his hand, representing the 7 churches. This image is meant to be a massive comfort. It says, look, the one in charge isn't the emperor in Rome, it's Jesus. He holds you in his hands. He knows what you're going through, and he is with you. This is the central character of the book. Revelation is, first and foremost, a revelation of Jesus Christ. He is the hero of the story. The book then unfolds in a series of visions. We see seals being opened, trumpets being blown, and bowls of wrath being poured out. These are often interpreted as a chronological sequence of end-time events. But many scholars believe they are not strictly chronological. Instead, they might be like different camera angles showing the same story from various perspectives. It's a literary technique called recapitulation. Think of a movie that shows a major event and then flashes back to show you how different characters experience that same event. Each cycle of judgments, seals, trumpets, Bowles retells the story of God's justice against evil and his protection of his people with increasing intensity each time. The point isn't to create a detailed flowchart of the apocalypse. The point is to show that God is in control of history. Evil and suffering are real, but they do not have the final say. God's justice will prevail. For the persecuted Christians reading this, it was a profound message. Your suffering is seen by God, and the injustice you face will be dealt with. The evil empire that seems so powerful right now is not invincible. Now let's talk about the famous or infamous number 666. People have tried to pin this number on everyone from historical figures to modern politicians. But in the original context, this was likely a Jewish numerological game called gematria, where letters have numerical values. The most common understanding is that 666 spells out the name and title Nero Caesar in Hebrew. Nero was a notoriously cruel Roman emperor who brutally persecuted Christians. So, for the first readers, 666 wasn't a mysterious future code. It was a clear symbol of the ultimate human evil they were currently facing in the form of the Roman emperor. It represents any human system or leader that sets itself up in place of God and demands total allegiance. The number 7 is the number of perfection or completeness in the Bible. So 666 is like a constant falling short of perfection. Humanity trying and failing to be God. So if the beasts represent human empires that oppose God, who wins this cosmic battle? This is where the book's climax comes in, and it's beautiful. We see a great battle, Armageddon. But it's not what you might expect. When Jesus appears as the warrior king, he doesn't conquer with a literal sword. The book says a sharp sword comes out of his mouth. His weapon is his word, the truth. He conquers evil not through more violence, but through the power of his truth and his self-sacrificial love demonstrated on the cross. The ultimate victory was already won at the resurrection. The rest of history is just the playing out of that victory. This brings us to the final chapters, the grand finale of the entire Bible. After all the turmoil and judgment, what's left? We see a vision of a new heaven and a new earth. The city of Babylon, the symbol for all corrupt human civilizations, has fallen. And a new city, the New Jerusalem, comes down from heaven to earth. This is the most hopeful part of the whole book. Notice that we don't get flown away to a distant, disconnected heaven. God comes down to live with us. The renewed creation is our eternal home. The description is breathtaking. There is no more death, no more mourning, no more crying, no more pain. God himself will wipe every tear from our eyes. There's no temple in the city because God's presence is everywhere. There's no sun or moon because the glory of God gives it light. A river of the water of life flows through the city, and on its banks is the tree of life, whose leaves are for the healing of the nations. This is the ultimate ending. It's not about escaping the world, but about the renewal of the world. It's a message that everything sad will come untrue. The story that began in a garden in Genesis ends in a garden city in Revelation. The fellowship with God that was broken is finally and completely restored. So when you put it all together, what does the book of Revelation really mean? It means hope. It means that no matter how dark the world seems, no matter how powerful evil appears, God is in control. It means Jesus has already won the decisive victory, and history is moving toward a guaranteed, beautiful conclusion. It's a love letter to a suffering church, reminding them and us to stay faithful, to endure, because the end of the story is better than we can possibly imagine. It's not a book to be afraid of. It's a book to give us courage. It's a book that invites us to look beyond our present struggles and see the glorious reality of Christ's reign and the wonderful future He has prepared for us. So the next time you hear about Revelation, don't think of scary monsters and disaster movies. Think of a powerful, victorious King who loves His people and a promise of a renewed world where there are no more tears,